Driving under the influence is seriously messed up. It's selfish and dangerous. Putting innocent people at risk just because you've had a few too many is totally unfair. There's just no excuse for it. Drinking and driving can end someone's life in a blink, and there's no going back from that. Here are 5 times when drunk drivers realized they ran over someone. Number 5. Woman involved in fatal hit-and-run crash denies being involved in the accident. In the wee hours of a Saturday, the streets of Pinellas Park witnessed a chilling sequence of events. The tranquility of the night is shattered when a vehicle steers off its path and collides with a bicyclist navigating the roadside. The victim, a 37-year-old man enjoying a peaceful ride, is thrust into a battle for his life. A battle that, despite the swift response of emergency services, he tragically loses at the hospital. Authorities, piecing together the sequence of events from surveillance footage and eyewitness accounts, identify the vehicle responsible, a 4-door sedan now marked by the incident it fled from, its right rear tail light extinguished as if in acknowledgement of the darkness it's contributed to the night. Merely 12 minutes after the calamity, law enforcement flags down the suspect vehicle, not for the horror it's implicated in, but for a seemingly mundane traffic violation, a malfunctioning taillight.
What's up, y'all? Y'all good? So, it's your car? Oh, I was just gonna tell you, you got a light out over here, so that's all it is. What, tonight? That was tonight?
Yeah. The officer, approaching the car, notes more than just the light. The windshield bears the scars of the recent impact. It's cracked and caved inward, with shards of glass still littering the dashboard.
I just got into an accident tonight?
No, we didn't get into an accident.
Oh, I didn't even see this. Okay. Where did this happen at? Where did that happen?
The officer questions where the incident occurred, receiving vague responses that someone hit them.
Somebody hit us. So we're going to come down and somebody hit us.
Oh, so is that why? Well, is that why your back is out too, or that's just been out?
Yeah, that's why our back is out
Okay.
too. It's not.
The officer's concern grows as he observes the car's condition, including the rear light being out, and humorously inquires if the incident occurred at a strip club, which the occupants deny.
What strip club that happened at?
No strip club.
Huh? It wasn't a club? Okay. All right. Everything good though? You guys look like you.
The officer comments on the occupant's apparent terrified state and asks for their home location and driver's license to ensure they're legally permitted to drive.
You're
We
terrified.
almost home.
Where's home at?
It's like family store.
Okay.
As the officer continues his inquiry, the occupants struggle to locate the driver's license.
You have your license? How many use? Just 3?
Yeah, that's right.
He asks about their residence and how close they are.
Can't find your license? How far you guys gotta go?
Only like 3 minutes.
3 minutes down here?
Yeah.
What, down this road here?
Just the apartment.
Expressing concern for the window's condition, but being unable to provide an escort home.
Well, listen, I can't escort you home, but obviously something's going on with your window. Who's this?
That's her.
It's your
I
license?
have her place right here.
Okay, so that's your...
Eventually, what seems to be the driver's license is presented, prompting the officer to inspect it while questioning them about their origin and destination.
Verify, make sure you valid, and you can hold yours. And you say you stay right down here? Where you guys come from, Tampa?
No.
He then advises them to stay put while he looks up their information.
Oh, St. Pete? Okay. All right. I'll just make sure you're good and I get you guys. So you stay right down this street right here, right? All right.
Inside the car, the atmosphere is tense, the air thick with an unsaid acknowledgement of the event that just transpired. The driver is accompanied by 2 passengers, one of whom later reveals she was asleep in the back seat and oblivious to the tragedy unfolding around her. Yet now, she's inextricably linked to it. In a move that raises questions later, the deputy lets the car go. The car, carrying the weight of the night's events, is later found abandoned in a supermarket parking lot. An inspection reveals more evidence tying the car to the crash, including headlight fragments and traces of hair and blood on the windshield. The driver's conscience catches up with her nearly 39 hours later when she turns herself in to face the consequences of her actions. This decision starts the legal process, with her bail set and later reduced, reflecting the complex nature of the situation and the judicial system's attempt to navigate it. She was charged with leaving the scene of a crash involving death, and her bail was initially set at $150,000. However, on September 12, 2023, her bond was reduced to $75,000. Despite the reduction, she remains detained in Pinellas County Jail. Number 4. Guy endangers 4 people, acts all innocent. In a quiet neighborhood, a chilling incident unfolds as a white 2-door sports car speeds through, shattering the peace of the evening. The driver, seemingly oblivious to the world around him, runs a red light at a dangerous pace and collides with another vehicle crossing the intersection. The impact is sudden and violent, leaving the victims and bystanders in a state of shock and disbelief. The driver of the sports car, perhaps in a moment of panic, decides to flee the scene, heading into a nearby complex and leaving a scene of confusion behind. The police arrive and start to gather information.
Westbound on Burns?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then where was he coming from?
He was coming from that way.
The same direction I just came from?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and he ran a red light?
They listen to the victims and witnesses, trying to piece together the details of the incident.
The next entrance of this complex right here and took off from there.
Were all 3 of you in the car?
No, I live here. I just came out. He just lives here. I have my buddy and his wife are down.
The main priority becomes finding the driver who ran away, adding a sense of urgency to the situation. After the crash, the area quickly becomes the focus of attention. Residents come out to see what happened, showing concern for those involved.
No, I think he's over here on the other side of the road. He might have went into the hospital because he took the most of the hit. He was the one on the other side of the door there.
He needs medical attention for that?
The occupants of the hit car are surrounded by people offering help as they try to make sense of the unexpected event. They talk about the crash, how it happened so fast, and their worries about potential injuries, especially for the person who was closest to the impact.
Was there front end damage to the vehicle?
Oh yeah, it's that car up, man. And the only reason why I didn't get this one that bad is because of this work.
The search for the fleeing driver leads the police to a nearby complex, where they suspect he might have gone for help or to hide. The community helps out, sharing what they saw and what they know, hoping to aid in the search.
Here is in the middle of right there, and it's parked right there. You see the trails going right up. You see the oil or whatever.
Yeah.
The suspect's roommate feels a tinge of guilt for the damage the driver has caused.
The registered owner's name's Dylan. Is he aware of this now?
No, he's not. I haven't even called him yet, man.
Okay.
You want to call him?
Well, it's not your fault. The guy ran.
While all the witnesses in the area admit that they're in a state of shock over what just happened.
We all hesitated. I was like,
I seen it and I was like, wow.
I think we were all just so in shock. And then
see how far I spun us all the way around, and that son of a bitch tried to take.
Meanwhile, one of the victims of the crash steps forward.
I'm all right. That bitch smashed my whole goddamn side.
You want to get checked out, or you all right?
I'm gonna be all right, but this motherfucker needs to go to jail. That doesn't run.
The officer keeps gathering info before going after the suspect.
Any of you happen to see what he looked like, though? No, the driver.
He ran because I chased him. He ran.
White guy, older white guy with white hair, collared shirt. Okay.
Witnesses and the victim talk about how serious the whole thing is.
It ain't your fault. He ran a red light, bro. He ran a red light and he was flying.
Yeah.
I look like this. I'm
Still shocked that the suspect could just take off after causing so much damage.
I said, oh, boom, the whole
He
door
was not
hit
paying
me.
attention
was
at all.
driving- he was driving back the whole-
Went off when he seen that he crashed.
The victim says he tried to follow the guy but lost him.
Oh, don't let him just take off. What the So I followed him. I knew right where his car is at. I took off after his
But his
I was going to
dumbass-
Telling the officers how bad the crash was.
He hit us hard, bro. He hit us hard. He didn't even hit the brakes. He's lucky he didn't do more to Dylan's car, bro.
And how chaotic the situation is.
All I can say is that car is a tank.
That thing took the whack, bro. Hey, I ain't even gonna lie. He just took a whack.
That sidearm is messed up.
He goes on to describe all the damage done.
Smashed him, bro. And it goes from his back door all the way to his back light right there, but
That Chrysler's a tank, that's
that
for sure.
bitch took.
It looks like a real mess. Another witness who happened to be walking by the street shares what he saw during the incident.
So then they were both stopped for a second, and it was faced kind of like in this direction. So I kind of like walked over there quick to see if anybody was hurt, because nobody was moving.
Did you see him
and
leave?
Then he just bolted.
Okay.
The officer then updates the community on the next steps he's going to take.
I'm going to go check that car out, and if the damage matches up, then I'm going to go ahead and plug at least the car into the report, so his insurance will be obligated to cover that part of it. But then as far as him...
Also mentioning his observations on the wrecked vehicle.
No heavy airbag deployment.
It's just driver's side, heavy front end damage, new oil slick.
Note all the stuff that you see on it.
He and his colleagues begin to investigate the suspect's car.
Go ahead and charge it. All right, so just write down just driver's side airbag.
The driver's side airbag, oil slick.
Locked out.
The police eventually locate the suspect, Jonathan.
Jonathan, what happened to your car, partner?
How about you both stop?
Palm Beach Gardens Police.
Why don't you stop?
What happened to your car?
Who acts like he's clueless about what's going on.
Just walking.
You're walking, but you happen to be the owner of that car right there that's all smashed up and was just in a crash. Anything you want to tell me about the crash?
However, the evidence against him, such as the seatbelt mark indicating he was in the driver's seat during the crash,
No,
Not necessarily.
not necessarily. See, you got the seatbelt mark right there. So what's the deal? What happened?
I wasn't in any car accident.
makes it tough for him to stick to his story.
Car crash?
No.
What's up with that mark on your neck?
I'm not sure what. I'm not sure.
Right now you can tell us and it can't be used against you. So what happened?
It's understandable, but
The police get in Jonathan's face with the evidence, letting him know they're onto him.
my friend used the car.
Mm-hmm.
I
And he crashed with you in it, in the driver's seat, because you got that seatbelt mark right there.
this was, this.
But Jonathan's feeble attempts to distance himself from the incident just don't cut it when faced with hard facts and witness accounts.
I mean, I wasn't driving, and sorry about that. I mean, it was a friend.
All right, so you don't want to tell me?
I was at the house, and a friend of mine was using my car.
It's like trying to hide in plain sight. It's just not happening. Jonathan gets arrested for fleeing the scene, the straight-up consequences for his actions.
You're under arrest for hit and run. All right? And you're damn lucky that we couldn't put you behind the wheel while you're drunk like this, too. All right.
The evidence is crystal clear, and his excuses don't change a thing. With the community's help and the cops' work, they're making sure he faces the music. The cops escort him over to the patrol car.
Back of the car.
Stop. Hold them for a second.
Gearing up for a not-so-pleasant ride to the station. Seems like Jonathan's in for quite the roller coaster. He's staring down charges of resisting arrest without violence, reckless driving, and hit and run with property damage. Ouch. Talk about a rough break for Jonathan. Can we just all agree on how awful the suspect was at lying? He couldn't even think of a better excuse for the marks on his neck. He was like a deer in headlights when he found out his car was wrecked. Just a complete freeze-up. No shock. No surprise that his car is trashed. Imagine finding out your car had been completely wrecked. How would you handle it? Probably not like Jonathan's reaction, I bet. Number 3. DUI suspect deeply remorseful over deadly crash. A guy finds himself in a situation he never imagined. Sitting in the back of a police car, trying to process what just happened. He's been in a crash. But this isn't just any crash. He was driving drunk, and someone got hurt. He knows he's made a horrible mistake, one that can't be undone.
I made a horrible mistake, dude.
The streets are quiet, almost like they're reflecting his shock and disbelief. He's aware of the city's efforts to prevent drunk driving, with DUI units patrolling the streets.
So I'm going to tell you right now, there's about 10 DUI units out in the city just for the patrol and trying to prevent things like this.
Yet here he is, the cause of the very thing they're trying to stop. He was speeding way over the limit.
And I hate to tell you, but I checked you going 116 the other way, and I turned around and I was trying to catch you.
And the police were already on his tail, trying to catch him before anything bad happened.
So, I mean, that's going to weigh on me that I didn't catch you before it happened.
But man, I killed somebody.
Yeah.
But they were too late. Now, He's grappling with the reality that his actions have led to someone getting hurt.
It's going to weigh on me. It's going to weigh on that family. Because I'm not. It's going to weigh on you. It's going to weigh on my family because I'm not a murderer. You know what I mean?
He knows he didn't mean for this to happen. He didn't set out to cause harm.
I didn't do it intentionally. I didn't want to do it. I didn't plan on doing it. I didn't set out tonight. Oh, I'm gonna...
But the outcome is the same, and he can't shake off the guilt. The family has lost someone because of him, and that thought is crushing.
I ruined that kid's life. I ruined their parents' life for a while. I ruined my life forever. I ruined
their parents' life.
He's starting to understand the full extent of what he's done. He's not only messed up his own life, but also affected the victim's family in the worst possible way. The fact that they'll never see their loved one again is something he finds hard to live with.
They're not going to get to see their little...
No, they're not, but at least they... there's no at least.
No. On these situations.
He knows he's responsible, and that's a tough pill to swallow. He knows he's looking at serious consequences.
Because I'm not one to sit there and deny anything. Like, if I did it, like, tell me so I can go man up to it and do my thing, you know? I don't want to go to prison.
And part of him feels that's only fair.
No one ever wants to. But if I killed somebody, then I need to.
He admits to having a problem with alcohol, a realization that comes too late to change anything.
So do you have a problem with alcohol?
Yeah.
You do? How much did you, legitimately, how much did you drink?
He's struggling to recall how much he drank, with the details a bit fuzzy.
I honestly don't know. I had 2 drinks. If I had more than that, I don't remember. Like if I was sitting at home and I was going to a friend.
He mentions he's not into the taste of beer anymore and has been sober for quite some time.
Don't like the taste of beer anymore.
You drink?
And I haven't drinking. I haven't drank in a long time.
But then, after a couple of months of staying clean, he ends up having a drink again.
Probably 4 or 5 months. And I went and bought some Jack Daniels tonight, and I guess it just bit me. I mean, it's bad.
He's trying to find some reason in all of this, maybe a lesson or something, but it's hard.
Do you remember being in the car driving?
No. As bad as it sounds, like everything happens for a reason. I'm so sorry to say that.
He knows he needs to face up to what he's done, even if that means going to prison.
Well, to me, I need to go to prison.
How long do you think you need to go?
Man, I need to spend the rest of my life there. Do you? If I killed somebody, yeah.
The thought scares him, but he believes it's where he needs to be, given what's happened.
If I killed somebody, I need to be there for the rest of my life. I'll even give my life because I took life. Fair is fair. You know,
his thoughts drift to his family and the impact this will have on them.
I have family and all that, and I have kids, but I don't care. Like, I did have morals.
He regrets how his actions have not only ended someone's life, but also affected his own family.
Apparently, I went too far because the disease took a hold of me. And I can't tell you that it's going to get any better in there because...
He's lost his way and let the alcohol take over, and now he's paying the price.
Like, it doesn't matter if I quit for 10 years or 2 days. Like, if once an alcoholic, I'm always an alcoholic.
The officer then questions him about why he turned to drinking in the first place.
What made you start drinking and not?
Man, I just wanted to.
He also asks about the suspect's kids.
You had kids, right? I got 2. Where are they at?
One's over here in Mustang, and the first one I gave up for adoption when I was 15.
The suspect admits to the detrimental effects of alcohol on him.
I can black out on beer. I can black out on a small pack of beer. It affects me different than what it does everybody else.
Despite managing to stay sober for the past 5 months, he still experiences blackouts when he drinks.
You said you've been...
I've been sober.
Drinking like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Like, I still black out when I drink.
He then divulges more details about his former job, the reasons for leaving, and his ex-wife.
I was as high as I could go in that department, but I quit because of alcohol. Yeah. I got a divorce. Met my wife there.
He recounts the losses he suffered due to alcohol.
And I met my wife there, and we got divorced because of alcohol. Lost my child because of alcohol. Now this because of alcohol.
Looking ahead, he knows it's going to be tough. His struggle with alcohol isn't going away, and he's got a long road ahead.
So if anything's going to come out of this, it's going to be great.
But maybe, just maybe, facing up to what he's done can be a step towards something better, or at least a way to make amends in some small way. This whole situation goes to show how quickly things can go wrong when you mix drinking and driving. It's a night he'll never forget, a turning point that's changed his life and the lives of others forever. The road ahead is uncertain, but one thing's clear. The consequences of drunk driving can be life-changing, not just for the driver, but for everyone involved. Number 1. Man too drunk to realize he just ended someone's life. On December 9th, 2022, a quiet road becomes the scene of a harrowing incident. A man, later found to be intoxicated, is behind the wheel of a blue Infiniti QX80, driving more recklessly than he probably realizes. On the same stretch of road, a cyclist enjoys what should be a peaceful ride in the designated bike lane. The tranquility of the evening is shattered in an instant when the blue SUV veers unexpectedly. The impact is swift and brutal, leaving the cyclist lifeless on the pavement. Surprisingly, the driver doesn't stop. It's unclear if it's the shock, the intoxication, or a combination of both, but he continues driving as if nothing happened. Witnesses to the accident are quick to react, their immediate concern for the victim turning into determination to stop the oblivious driver. Finally, they get his attention, and the vehicle comes to a halt. The man steps out, and his condition is immediately apparent. He's unsteady on his feet, his movements sluggish and confused. The police arrive, finally bringing some order to the chaos.
He swerved here. Where is he right now? Where is the car?
The QX80, the blue one that just got smacked left side.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
They walk up to the man, checking in on how he's holding up.
Come here. Hello? How are you doing?
All right.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm
Do you need any medical attention?
No.
Okay.
Then ask for his ID and gently guide him towards the safety of a patrol car, making sure he doesn't hurt himself more.
Thank you. Oh, don't.
Sorry.
You okay? Here.
I'm
Don't fall. I'm going to sit you in my vehicle so you don't fall, okay?
Yeah.
Before he gets in the car, the officer pats him down to ensure he's not carrying any weapons.
I'm just going to check you for any weapons, okay?
I don't have any weapons.
Turn. This way. Okay, I'm going to sit you in my vehicle with AC, okay? You're not in handcuffs.
He's told that another officer will chat with him about the accident.
I'm going to come talk to you about it. I'm just standing by. I guess there was an accident. So,
yeah.
I'm just waiting for them, okay?
Clearly not in his right mind, he tells the officer he's clueless about what's going on.
Once the officer comes to talk to you...
I don't know what's going on.
Okay. They'll explain everything. Like I said, I'm just standing by until the officer gets here.
Thank you.
And then he'll explain everything, okay?
As the officers talk to witnesses,
So much for hanging around. You're Gerard?
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
the pieces of the night's events start to come together.
I'm just driving behind a BMW, and the car in front of him was a black car. I don't know what vehicle it was.
One witness describes how he saw debris flying in the air, thinking it was just bits of road at first.
High up, I didn't know what it was. And the car behind him swerved, and I looked over and I seen him. He flew through the air. I didn't know where the body until I...
But then, on a closer look, he realized the grim truth. A person had been hit.
I looked over, he was face down. I pulled over immediately, ran over to him, and called EMS. That was it.
Okay.
Other folks who saw the accident rushed in to help and tried CPR, but the victim didn't respond.
A couple people stopped after the fact that were behind me, and they helped administer CPR on him, but he never pulled.
The witness admits he didn't realize it was a person until he saw the body on the ground.
No, it was a person, until I saw him on the ground.
Was he moving around, or he just kind of laid still?
No, it was totally out.
Okay, so you don't know if he was shot?
The stories from other witnesses really paint a clear picture of what happened before the crash.
Saw the blue SUV. There's a few cars ahead of me. I also saw what I thought was a bicycler.
The SUV was all over the road, swerving like crazy.
This blue SUV swerved and hit him.
Where was the bicyclist?
He was, from what I remember, he was in this bike lane.
So the bike lane, if you're heading westbound on Okeechobee, would...
Then it just jerked into the bike lane out of nowhere.
And he swerved towards the bike lane.
So was he swerving before you saw him swerving into the bike lane?
I don't recall. I don't know if I was paying attention at that point.
Where was...
And bam, catastrophic collision.
The cyclist, which you observed.
Yes.
What did he do after he made impact with the cyclist?
He kept going.
Okay. Did he stop?
It's a series of events that none of them will soon forget.
I say to myself, why isn't this guy stopping? He's not stopping. At that point, I grabbed my phone. I was panicking. I'm trying to get 911 on the line.
The witness says he honked to get the attention of the drunk driver and signal him to pull over.
This guy, again in the middle lane, I rolled down my window. I think I was honking my horn and I, was signaling to him,
to pull over. Okay.
And he actually pulled over.
Okay.
But instead of cooperating, the suspect actually confronted him and asked this crazy question.
I pulled my car in over here by the McDonald's, and he actually got out of his car, started walking towards me, and he goes, "What did I do wrong?"
The witness had to break it to him about what went down because the driver seemed totally clueless about the mess he had just caused.
Somebody. And then we just kind of stood there. I still had 911 on the phone, and I was letting him know that, he pulled over. He's here. He's pulled over.
Probably still not all there. The witness swears he saw the driver stumble back to his vehicle.
We were kind of just standing on the side of the road, and I noticed he started to actually walk back to the car.
He was the only person that was in the vehicle?
I didn't see anybody else.
Another witness steps up to share what he saw at the scene of the accident.
Did you see while you were driving and you're heading westbound?
First of all, I noticed he was going slower than traffic, but he was swerving back and forth.
Who was going slower than traffic?
The QX80.
Just like everyone else, he says he watched the driver weaving all over the lanes.
Weaving back and forth.
In that lane?
Okay. Yeah, I thought he was just playing on his phone, like I said.
Okay.
And as soon as because I was maybe a car or two behind him, I got over.
He even honked at him, but then things escalated real quick.
At him, and he straightened up, and after that, it was just a explosion of parts and...
Okay, what did you see what happened?
The witness goes on to describe the collision.
It was red chunks, I don't know if it was the victim or...
What was it? What did he hit?
It was definitely the bike.
A person on a bicycle?
Yeah.
And confirms the same information the officer got from the other witnesses.
Swerved right into the bicycle lane
and
struck the cyclist.
All of a sudden I see parts flying. Okay. It sounded like a tire explosion.
What happened?
Like everyone else, he says the driver just kept going after hitting the cyclist.
The blue Infiniti struck the cyclist.
He did not stop.
Okay. Didn't step on the brakes,
Nothing,
didn't pull over.
Regard, that moment I realized he was on something because that's not...
The witness tells the cop how the suspect could barely stand up straight or walk in a straight line.
No, but when he hopped out, he stumbled.
Okay.
That's another...
So he stumbled like he was having a hard time walking? Did he do it once or did he do it a bunch of times?
He did it a bunch of times, and then...
Seated in the back of the police car, the driver looks like he's in a daze of his own making.
Last night, I don't really know what happened.
Okay.
It was,
You don't know what happened?
No.
Okay. You were driving? Okay, you were the only person that...
The officer starts asking him where he's coming from, where he's going, and what he does for work.
Heading home.
Heading home? Where were you coming from?
My work.
Your work? What do you do for work?
I'm an arms dealer.
Like firearms?
Yeah.
Okay. No weapons on you or anything.
But the way he's talking about what went down makes it seem like he's just a bystander in the whole thing, and not the one responsible.
It was an accident, but you don't know anything about the accident. You were the only person that was in the vehicle.
I was changing lanes from, right to left, and I don't know what happened.
When the officers ask him questions, he just gives vague answers.
Why did you stop here?
Or
how did you know that you had an accident?
I heard the crash and I stopped.
You stopped?
Yeah. It was a big mess.
It's like he's not even sure what's going on, probably because his memory's all messed up from the alcohol.
Yes, man.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a lot of shock and I don't know.
Okay. Do you have any medical ailments?
The The reality of what happened and the life lost because of his actions seems to be completely lost on him. The suspect insists he hasn't had a drop to drink.
No, nothing? Okay. Did you take that medication today?
Yeah.
What time did you take that? But you don't remember what it was?
No, I don't know, man.
Okay.
Even when told he seems impaired, he sticks to his story, saying he's completely sober.
You're kind of nodding a little bit and you're slurring your words.
This is crazy.
He tries to brush it off, saying he's only acting weird because he's shocked and in disbelief.
Crazy.
I understand. There's probably a lot going on.
I'm freaking out.
Okay. All right. Yep. All right. So.
But the officer isn't buying it and fills him in on what the witnesses said.
Witnesses here that say that when the crash occurred, you made no attempt to stop and you continued westbound on Okeechobee, like you didn't even know that you were involved in a crash.
Letting him know they're onto him, and that the only reason he stopped was because those witnesses made him.
The gentleman laid on his horn behind you and another gentleman got in front of you, and this is why you stopped, okay? And that was the only reason that you stopped, okay? So...
Is he really trying to wriggle out of this? The evidence is stacking up against you, man. Based on the officer's observation of him.
Based on your driving pattern, based on your slurred speech, based on the fact that you don't recall the accident, you take medication, you don't know what kind of...
He requests permission to draw the suspect's blood.
At this point, I'm going to ask you for a blood draw, okay? In order to determine if there's anything in your system.
However, the driver refuses to give consent for a blood sample.
Consent to that blood draw?
No.
You're not going to consent to that blood draw? Okay. So because you're not going to consent to that blood draw, what we're going to do is I need you to step out of the car.
But because the accident he caused resulted in a death, the officer has no option but to proceed.
State statute, we are going to take your blood with or without your consent because you're involved in a crash that involved death, okay? So
the officers lead him over to the medical rig where they'll get his sample.
We're going to walk over to that medical rig and we're going to go do a blood draw. Take your hands out of your pockets for me.
Right. Don't worry about the door. Don't worry about the door. We got the door.
You walk with me.
As the night goes on, officers discuss the possible consequences awaiting the driver.
Again, I think I'm just going to get a warrant. So, I mean, he's facing 20 years to...
Yeah.
I mean, right now.
Right.
The charges are no joke, showing just how serious it is to cause a death while under the influence.
Which it's going to come back.
Yeah.
It's like 25 to life.
Yeah.
So, yeah, his entire life.
I'm sure I'll be seeing you in court.
It's a sobering reminder of the steep cost of drunk driving, not just for the victims and their loved ones, but for the ones responsible too. After the suspect's blood sample is taken, the officer reads him his Miranda rights.
Questions? I'm going to read this to you, okay? So, I'm required to warn you before any statement that you have the following constitutional rights. Number one, you have the right to remain silent and not answer any questions.
Once he's aware of his rights, the suspect decides not to speak and requests a lawyer before any questioning.
Your rights. Do you want to talk to me about what happened at the accident?
I'd like to have a lawyer present.
Okay. You want a lawyer before you answer any questions? Yeah. Okay. All right. At that time is...
In the end, the guy they identified as Jason Ryan Carvois is in some serious trouble. He's looking at 1 count of DUI manslaughter and 1 count of leaving the scene of a crash causing death. That crash took the life of Fuad McMore, 61, of Wellington, along Okeechobee Boulevard near the Royal Palm Beach village border. According to the arrest report, they checked Carvois' blood twice after the crash. Turns out, he had a whopping .306 grams and .259 grams of alcohol per 100 milliliters of blood in his system. That's 4 times the legal limit in Florida. This whole incident really leaves a mark on everyone involved, from the bystanders who rushed to help to the police handling the scene, and even the driver himself, whose split-second mistake has caused irreparable damage. It's a grim reminder of the consequences of drinking and driving, and how lives can be shattered in an instant. And that's a wrap. It's just gut-wrenching to see the tragic consequences for the victims of these drunk drivers. I mean, come on. How hard would it have been to call an Uber, right? Now, they're stuck dealing with the harsh consequences. Jail time and a lifetime of regret. I still can't believe that one guy was totally clueless about the fatal accident he caused. My heart goes out to the witnesses and the family of the poor victim. How about you? Which case really got under your skin? Also, check out our other stuff showing up on the screen right now, and I'll see you in the next video. See you next time.